Yeah, my office.
I might have it down by the end of camp.
Seemed like you've been here a week?
This week's more fun than my first marriage, I want to tell you something.
How's the body this morning?
I was able to get up, get out of bed, and move without help, and that's a victory.
Look at that.
It's only the second day, however.
Does it feel like longer?
Pardon?
Feels like longer than that to me.
You've been lugging that thing around on your shoulder. I just get to stand and hurt myself.
You could be all right, though, aren't you?
You bet. I'm going to be just fine. And if I'm not, there are 2 billion Chinese who will neither know nor care.
I'm having a wonderful time. Yep.
Could you do this forever?
I don't know if I can hold out. In my head, when I think about it, sure. That's the fantasy, isn't it?
Are your legs talking to you this morning?
My legs are talking a little bit up here. Not too bad. A little bit. I think once I get stretched out and start running around, I'll be okay. I hope.
It'll go away.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't last forever, can it?
No.
To put up to bat. I know I'm a low ball hitter, so I signal to our pitcher because Stokel's throwing to our team. Point down low. Comes right down there. I hit a gapper in left center. I figure I got 2 for sure. Run as fast as I can at first, go into second, expecting to stop, and I look over at third, and there's Reese going, come on, come on, come on. I got a little bit of gas left, so I chug into third, and I'm sure by now he's going to wave the hands up, go on, let's go. And I say, I'm out of gas, I'm out of gas. At about the last 20 feet going into home plate, I really didn't care whether I was safe or out. I just wanted to breathe when I went across the plate. That's pretty much the story.
You're breathing fine this morning.
Yeah, I'm feeling great today.
It's a long way down the base pass, isn't it?
It's a heck of a long ways down this base pass. And believe me, that ball will go further and further every time I tell the story on the hit.
It was a good hit. I liked it.
Thanks.
I wish I'd have got it on tape.
I wish you would have too. You missed my double too. I had a double next time up. Well, you'll be there today.
You're on Albuquerque, right?
I'm on Albuquerque, AAA.
I'll be up there again today.
Great. We ought to do some.
All you got to do is do it again.
No problem. No problem. I feel about 3 hits coming on today.
This morning after one day here.
It's great, absolutely fantastic. Having a good time. Feel real good. Surprised at my age of 45 that I feel as well as I do at this present time. However, we didn't have a ball game yesterday. We had a bye, so talk to me tomorrow and see how I feel tomorrow. I think I'm going to pitch today, play a little first base, a little in the outfield today. But the people are really fantastic, both the campers and the instructors, and I'm really glad I came.
Well, I was on the team that had the day off, so we kind of just had a little workout, but I think it might have helped us, though.
Is that going to be an advantage?
I think so, because Spawny had a lot of good information for us, and it was a good pep talk. And told us we were going to win the whole thing, so I think it helped us quite a bit.
Do you believe it?
I think that the Dodgers represent wholesome family entertainment. And for you to have that camera in this locker room is obscene and it should be censored. And I know that my kids would not want to see pictures of men naked. Maybe girls, but not
Especially
men.
fat ones. Leave all that bullshit. This is my first time in my life. A little preliminary. Try out his story.
One more time. Hands on front, drop the shoulders. Your arms are back, suck in the stomach. And I'll let you go forward.
Yeah.
Arms are back, suck in tight. Back on the heels, drop the shoulders.
Benton, I'm going to stay here till I get a grunt.
Hips forward. right and lead right. And relax. Bring your hands back about 6 inches. Straighten out the leg slowly. Raise the rear end, drop the head. Sounds like Tommy Davis talking about hitting. Now the right side. Both feet back. Up on your toes. And back again. One more time on the toes. And relax.
He's one of the best specimens in camp right here.
I can see that.
Let's go back to the other side. Hands
This
up
guy
over. Lean on
was
over.
150 pounds when he came here yesterday.
Let's go to the other side.
Boy, this workout is really doing a job.
That tells you what kind of food he's been having for the past day and a half he's been here.
Come on out of it. Step out with your left foot. Hands on the ground. Right leg is straight, feet are parallel. Drop your hips.
I think more people should come.
Both hands on your left knee. Get your down.
for this.
Hips are down and hands are up.
I also want you to know that the only reason why Norm is here is because of the whirlpool.
You make him swallow his gum, Joe. He's gonna have you.
But I think if he buys one, it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper.
Straight, feet are parallel. Both hands on your right knee. Back over the left side till as far as you can, then trunk twist. Let's go to the right side till over as far as you can, then trunk twist. Come back to center, hands behind your back, tilt on over. Bend your knees, come out of it. Right foot is back, step out over your left foot. Keep
Everybody putting these on them?
Yeah, until we run out. Until we run out. That's okay. Let it stay down. Let it stay, doctor. Let it stay over your ankles as low as you can get them. Okay. Hey, no, don't put your shoes back on. No. Yeah.
Leave your shoes on? Yeah.
I think you're in trouble. I think you're in trouble.
Put the pants on and take
No.
your shoes off.
Okay, you probably need another pair. I need one base.
God damn you, Hammer, where are you?
Where is Hammer? Hammer?
Everybody's picking on me. Yeah, you screwed us both up.
Yeah, all right. You don't have to tighten them. Now, may I have your attention, please, everybody, if you can, on this side over here, because we are going to talk about base running and sliding. Sliding, how to become a complete ball player. Other phases of the game, other than hitting and catching it, is running and sliding and turning these bases. This base can be a friend of yours, or it can be your worst enemy. It all depends on how you approach this bag, whether you're running from home plate to first base or from first base around the bases. I recommend in the short period of time that we're here that on the approach to the base, try to make sure that you touch the base in the middle of this bag. Whatever foot that gets you there first, that's the one you do it with. For purposes here, I would recommend that you hit this bag right in the middle, not jumping on it, but running through the base. Running through the base simply means just running through it. Little league, a lot of you have kids who play little league ball and they come out and see the base and they jump. Well, you don't want to do that. Number one, if you jump and all your weight and this thing slip, down you go. The other reason I recommend the middle of the bag, I'm not a doctor, but you can tell me, when you hit here, here's what happened to your foot.
You get two injuries. You get a metatarsal injury and you get a retrocalcaneal sprain.
Right. Then the other, when you hit here, you got just the opposite. Now, that is the approach to the base, and that's what we want to use here. At all time, you're going to run here and you're going to hit this base. Those of you who hit a double. Okay.
Laughing at you.
I'm just saying those of you who hits doubles. triples inside the park, home run. What's important on this base at this moment is something that how to make a turn rather than winding up in right field to get to second base. We would go through a basic movement that is used to somehow cut the angle down. Most people talk about the radius going out that way. Some call it the angle, some call it the turn, some call it the lean. Whatever definition you want to use, the fact of the matter is that you want to get to second base in as straight a line as you possibly can, or the next base. There is one body movement that can help you get there, help you make that turn, help you make that lean. When you're running, Frank, hold that a second. When you're running, coming to this bag, normally your hands are going up and down. Now, oh, one other thing is running, approaching this bag. Your feet will do exactly what your arms are doing. If your arms are going pumped straight up and down, your knees will be up straight up and down. Those who have watched television and watched those guys run cute on TV like this, when you make this turn like this, your feet do this too. So that's what you're going to get. So the ideal is to pump your arms straight up and down. So you're running through this bag straight up and down, your legs are going to be up and down. You want to cut this angle. The left arm, as you hit this base, if I were to throw the left arm, rather than up and down at this moment, I throw it across. Like this, the body goes this way. That's how you cut the angle. There he is. Most of you probably want to do the head first slide. It looked great. Fantastic. Get a dirty uniform. You get up and knock the dirt off. But today we're going to talk about the bent leg slide. The bent leg slide. That is also known as the pop-up slide. But the bent leg slide is exactly how it sounds. The calf of your leg, your bottom does not hit the ground, and even if it does, you do not get what is known in this game as the strawberries. Those come as a result of a half-bent leg slide like such, which forces the body left or right. Now you do not ride the calf of your leg, therefore you open yourself up to some stretched muscles. Now, the bent leg slide. Hammer, where are you? Oh, good. The bent leg slide is what I'm going to recommend down here. There are some hook slides and a variation of those things. But the bent leg slide will be, could you get in a setting position like Manny is there? Hammer, I want you to come over this way. Yeah, I want you closer to this base as you can. No use sliding out there. Nobody, they tag you out.
Closer back.
Yeah. Now, the idea of this bent leg slide is that you must ride the calf of your leg. This got to be down. Hands up. No, I'm not sticking them up. Hands up. One of the reasons you want the hands up, make a fist, because when he's coming in like such, he's pretty much balanced at this point. The hand should be in a fist for one reason only. If Hammer is tagged in the middle of his slide, first thing he's going to do is drop his hand to brace himself. If he drops his hands, his fingers, those are the first thing going to jam the ground. Ideally, you can hit this way or that way, but at least you're conscious of the fact that you must open your hand before you can hit that. So, and you don't want your hands open. Anyway, the hands goes up for two reasons. One is that it balances you pretty good. You know full well when you start your slide and you're not balanced, you got to go this way or that way. So this sort of, what do you call this? This sort of balance you. But you're riding on this part of your body. This leg is lifted slightly up, not all the way up here. You won't go that high, right? Okay. But that's pretty much what you're looking at. And once this foot, the forward foot, or the pointed foot, reach the base, it should go down to touch the base. And if that is true, when we were doing a handshake, he could just come straight up. And that's what results into the pop-up slide. Oh, yeah, okay. Hey, Marty going to demonstrate it. Don't want to do. Okay, close. You're not going to do it without a burst of speed. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want you too much. I just made a comment on that. Okay. Stay down, bud. Stay down. Well, stand up and turn around. Stand up and turn around. Okay, right here. All right, what you see on Marty here, a little further, is that the calf of the leg indicates that he did hit here. Also what's hitting the ground is your ankle as well. This bottom slid a bit, and I think that's basically on the drop down at the end. One of the things he was doing that we don't want to do is as you make this approach to the bag, I do not want you to turn, veer out, and then back to the base. Because if you were to do that, you're going to wind up not on a direct approach, and you're going to get off center a bit, be off balance. And actually, Marty, you were going into the base on an angle, which meant that if you saw at the end, his hand really was down. And that's the only reason his hand did go down, because after now he had to right the body, and the body's leaning here. So, and you don't have to slide. One thing about sliding, and it's a tough thing, if you are in doubt on the approach to this base, slide. Slide. The worst thing could happen to you, you come down, you become indecisive as to what to do at this moment, and you start to stumble, all of a sudden you're going to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens to all of us. Once that doubt creeps in, go down, slide anyway. You're better off. Because if the injuries occurs when you are halfway in between, most of the time you're standing up and stumbling. The approach, and some people do it this way, some do it a lot of ways. I would say normally one does not have to, has to do a stutter step in order to slide. Most people do, but you don't have to. Sliding should be anticipated. In games like this, I would suggest anticipate your slide anywhere from 10 to 12 feet away from the base. This base, although it stands 3 inches high, is a very tough base. Most runners, we all fear this little base because it is stationary. It is protection for infielders on double plays. You see a second baseman stand right here all day, make a double play. Why? Runners do not like to cross that base. They become an invisible wall. Well, we want to use it to our advantage too as runners. And that is, this base is, as I said earlier, can be your friend. As long as you make the right approach to it. 10 or 12 feet out, you start to slide. In games like this, as I said earlier, even if you come up short of the base, it's better off the first couple of days until you really get the feel of going into this base. Any question? Reach out your hand to me as you're going to shake my hand when you get here.
You want them up and out
I want them properly done. Okay, that's okay.
his leg back too far.
All right. That's what I don't want you to do. Okay? Hammer on the approach, bent his leg this way. It's actually a bend behind you. And if you bend it this way, you're going to get what he got, and that's the indication here that the full impact went right into the ground. Hammer, you're going to make me change my theory in this game. Because this is a 4 days fantasy type thing, perhaps, maybe we will make the little angle here veer. But real slow. It was as though you're walking through it. Right there now. Okay. That's all right. Those should go through a walk-through sliding for everyone, even if you walk up to the point where you actually sit down like this, because what I need you to do is get the body prepared for this kind of action. You know, I can talk about it unless you really get the feel to it, like Hammer here. He just did it twice, and now he's about ready for it. First 2 times has indicated to me that he wasn't ready for it. So who all has sliding pads? Doctor, you want to just squat in a squat position and as though you were sliding?
Squat in a squat.
Okay, there we are, right there. Now lean back. Just sit down as though you're sliding, a little more, all the way down on your back end. And bring this leg up, the one underneath here. Bring it up into this sliding position.
Okay.
Okay. Now. All right.
I'm leaning this way.
I know you are. All because this is not behind you.
I don't want to say my pants are tight. Something's tight too.
Okay, now, tell you what, now sit down completely. Sit down completely. Okay. All the way down. Okay, now we go. Now we get in there and bring this leg, the bent leg slide, as long as this is in the area of the knee here, you normally have a pretty good balanced slide. If you had been enough speed to come in here, this would not be up as you see it here.
It'd be down.
It'd be down. Because this leg here would be up slightly, which would force a little more. But that's the idea of this. Can everybody get in that position? Just for the heck of it, just to get a feel for it. Ready, Martin? Yeah. All right, the first thing you should feel sitting here is that the weight is on your ankle. I'm sure that is on your anchor. And the idea of that is that if I was sliding, had a burst of speed, I'd be a little further up. If I come further up, you can feel the weight leaving your anchor. Am I right? You go into the calf of your leg just by coming this way. Well, that's the whole idea of this thing, is to be able to slide on the calf of the leg. This knee is going to be up if you're going in there right, and you come slightly up. That way, if you're tagged in the middle of your slide, you can go here. From this slide, or this approach, can be the hook slide, because the hook slide is the next thing from here, is a kick out of this leg and a bend of the other one. So you can see this becomes a very basic slide to all slides. Once you learn that one, or get the feel of this one, then you're okay. Ideally, in these 4 days, you want to make the approach on the basic slide. Again, even on the bases, first thing we do is get some grass or dirt, so that if you're on base, chances are you probably have to slide. The probability is great that you have to slide. So I would recommend something so that when you do have to slide and you start to go down, at least that now you can open your hands and place them. But if you've already got them open, you go down, you're going to get that anyway. This slide also, for example, if you're not balanced going in on this kind of slide, and I keep talking about a balanced slide, and I got to tell you that 99% of the slides in the next few days will not be a balanced slide. So let's talk about those. What's going to happen to your body when you come in here like this? Some of you are going to hit, and this foot going to be down like this. Now, one of the things you don't want to do, whatever you do, make sure that this foot, the lead foot, is off the ground. Never let it go down, because that's where you're going to hit the spike, get caught, and you're going to get jammed. What will happen when this leg goes up, if it goes up high, you're going to result like this. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with this. But it is something wrong with this, knee jammed in the ground. It is something wrong with this foot hidden here. So those are the two things you want to avoid. This front foot jamming the ground prior to the base. That is the one thing you really want to avoid. I got to tell you, with the speed you're going to be running, probably won't matter. Because I think it's loose out there enough that even if you hit that, it's going to glide through it. As I said, the head first slide, I won't talk about it, but there will be times, particularly when you're on the base, they make a pick-off attempt and you're going to dive back to a base. Here's what happened to a lot of guys on the dive into the base here. You reach for the base, and your fingers goes like this. Crunch. Reach for the base like this, please. So that when it slides in there is above this base. I've had times, have seen times, have experienced whereby the hand actually go underneath. And there is a nut on this base. There's a rod, a four-corner rod, four-corner shaped rod. When you're going in like that and you grab this thing, it acts as a meat grinder. You come out and there's blood all over your hand, and you don't want to look at it. But so if you're going back to the base, give it a cuff. Open hand slightly up. Body length is, I look out here and say, gee, if I lay down, my body length should put me about here. I think that's about where it would be on the estimation. Then I take another step. One step in a dive, I touch the base. It's automatic. One step in a dive and I touch the base. That is your safest lead. That's the lead you want at all time. I don't care if it's out here in the middle of a game or you're at first base. You estimate your body height, take another step. You can't go wrong with that. And this is good base running. Base stealing is another story behind that. Okay, any other questions? Yeah.
Ever go back to the base first?
Feet first? Yeah. Yeah, same principle right here. You know, I turn back and I go right to the slide. Feet first into this bag is done for a reason. 10 years ago, 26 ball clubs, all infielders covering this bag on anybody diving head first, come in here and do this on you. Knee go down, you got to come into it. Today, one ball club does it, California Angels. So what that has done, the elimination of the infielder dropping in here, preventing you off this bag, has encouraged the head first slide. And you get one ball club who's doing it every time you come down here. Now you think that guy's an outlaw, not playing the game under the gentleman agreement type system. But that's encouraged the slide, and what used to be, everybody used to come back that way for that reason that the infielder was down here with his knees. Any other question on this?
You're not going to teach us the other things, are you?
Yeah.
The lead is about 2 inches off the bag. And
Well, let's go to third base. Third base on a tag up. I'm going to recommend this to my team. I got to cut the mic off. At third base on a fly ball, tag up, sacrifice fly, whichever we want to call it. When you come to this base, and most time the pitcher's out here, home plate, that's way, we tag up this way, don't we? We're ready, we're waiting for the ball to be caught by the outfield, and then we kick off and we run. Hammer, where did you go? Oh, come right here. You assume that position. You're the base runner. That's home plate, and you go under. And I'm the third baseman. Now, a lot of third basemen look out here, and they recognize the fact that the ball is going to be caught. You're standing there, and they're looking like this. And just as the ball approached the outfielder, they come to here. Right. Now, this is going to result in Hammer doing something. He got to make an action. That can be the answer. It could not. But most third basemen are big guys, you know. So, well, try it. You didn't move me. Right. But the fact is, you still got to see the ball. Now, what are your choices?
I can sneak back like this to keep my body here.
Yeah.
The coach.
Yeah. Or you can take the lead like this. You can stand here, because remember, the guy's coming up to you. He's looking, and you're looking. The moment he steps here, remember, he has to see the ball caught too. That's when his eyes goes away from it. Now you can come back to where you were.
Lou, how much can the third baseman do before he's called interference on the base runner?
None. He has no interference. There's nothing to say he can't stand here.
Right in front of that base runner, the third baseman?
Well, he's not in the baseline.
He's not in the baseline.
Not
He's on the
stopping it,
baseline.
running.
He's not stopping anything. He just walked over here. That's the line going here. Fly ball is out here. Right field, center field.
But he can't stand in front of the bag.
If he stands anywhere where he's preventing his movement, that's interference. But what Lou is doing is perfectly legal.
All right, let me go. So this is the baseline going to his home plate. All right, I'm standing here as a third baseman. So I got him moving back and forth. We're all looking for the fly ball, but I recognize the fact that he's behind me, and I'm blocking his view.
So you're blocking his vision.
Right. So it's up to you now to gain view of what is happening. Now, right, you can come back that way.
Don't kick off this. Do they do that much in the major leagues? Block off like that?
It wouldn't block you off. You hit too hard. Any other question on this base as we talk about it here?
So what about going standing up to first base? Going back. How do you go back to first base standing up?
Going back to first base, Doctor, could I stand right through here?
Yeah.
We talk about 3.5 step lead, and I know you won't be faced with this in these kinds of games, but the fact still remains that if the first base coach says back, you can go back 1-2 steps and never look back. I know I'm asking you to do a lot in that situation, but the word back implies to most people who play this game or do not play it a lot, they say back, and the first thing you do is turn your head and look for the base, then we make our motion back, etc. 3.5 step lead always results in 2 steps back to the base. It's only 2 steps back there. 1, 2. So that's why you should never get picked off on 3.5 step lead, because it's only 2 steps back. What are 3.5 step? As I said earlier, 1, 2, 3.5. And that's still about a body length away, a step in a body length. But even here, 1, 2. But that's what I recommend in this kind of situation. Yeah.
Down the line, sliding into first base.
Oh yeah, that's something we don't want to do. In these games, we do not want to come down the first baseline, trying to beat out a base hit, and dive into this bag, head first, feet first, or any kind of way. We don't want to do that. And the reason is, hey, cut it out. The reason is that you are going to get here faster on a straightaway run than you are on a slide. The slide is used for one reason in baseball and one reason only, is to break your forward motion. That's what a slide is for, to break your slide in motion, your forward motion. And running out to first base, you want all the motion that you can get, and you're going to achieve that more by running through the bag rather than 10 or 12 feet from the slide, from the base, you start to slide. Sliding at the end of a slide is always results in your slowdown. That's what it's designed for.
Yeah. You guys go to the batting cages, okay?
Okay, Lou, work those other guys.
Okay, Harmon, why don't you keep your shorts out? Keep your shorts out because I got short in one spot.
Just my punishment.
You got to walk over to her and say, hey, let's have it slide.
Anyway, thank you for the tips too for the kids with the
Good. Turn around, let me see you. All right. But that was only for another results, but it was okay. You're going to get that slightly. Turn it a little bit. Yeah, you had a straight back. It's working for you out here. Bennett. There you are. All right. What's going to happen here?
Trying to get it more on this side, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you come in a little straight in, but it's okay. It'll work.
Okay, guys. It's the PH. Field is clean. Let's tee off.
Let's get the PH.
Tee off time. Ball one.
One night in a limo, limping out of the thing, and 3 bodyguards with me. This is ballpark. Now I've been limping out there, 4 bodyguards. Like 6 pounds of gold around his neck, Rob.
Yeah, players today with the hitting, you're right, they don't want to say they're coming out of the clubhouse. Extra hitting, coming out of the clubhouse, walk into the cage, hit, out of there, go back into the clubhouse. Spring training comes out early. It's extra hitting and then we'll hit the rest of the guys against slide pitching. How do you know it's
Probably got it in his contract, right?
He makes
Get back to the basics.
Caught in between what? You never get.
What's that? First base, you ready? You caught a few ground balls already? You ready? Nice and easy now.
One more curveball. Straight. I used to say fast. Only straight nowadays.
Well, Kaline, Buck Anderson all right?
Bad
all
ball.
Huh?
Great guy.
How's his health? Pretty good. All right.
Take it easy, take it easy.
Nice play.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he can pick it. Oh, he can pick it.
He feels good.
Feel real good. Good job, Bob.
Okay, Tony, let's go.
Get a look in your face.
No, it's concentrated. Hitting
All
a
right,
fog
Ben.
feller, are you kidding me? You don't do that every day.
This is my bro.
We just got a couple rips.
Are you two guys twins?
Twins? God, no, please.
He's my brother-in-law, see, I'm married to his sister, and
I
he
don't
says if
want
I go to
his-
camp, he's got to come with me.
And I don't want his baseball ability. He is taped from toe to waist.
That's right.
And I don't want that.
I figured if I married his sister, I'd become a good ball player.
Did it work?
Doesn't work. Not yet so far, but it's getting there.
But I love him.
But he's the potato head man right now.
Ah, neat.
What's it all about?
Sure. That goes on all the
Ready? Ready?
I was just guessing popping. Best way to avoid just popping.
Popping up.
I was popping about 4 or 5 times. Is this the level swing or is it something else?
Quickly.
Getting around.
Just
got to get around a little faster.
Quicker, yeah. And quicker. Don't, what you're actually doing is it's a lazy swing. Take it next quicker. How you, oh, take it.
See, I'll go quicker swing there. Better. Quicker.
Yeah, I guess they're twice as hot.
What's it all about?
When we started out. Oh my God, am I sore. Come on, you gonna hit next. Come on. Stop complaining. You can't
You got
stop
a hat
the,
that fits me,
you
for
can't
Christ's
stop the
sake.
rain
Come
by
on.
complaining. Come on. You can't stop the rain by complaining, right, Frank?
Frank just told me the true story of Kareem. You better go over here and get educated.
Kareem is my friend.
You better get educated.
Kareem is my friend. Yeah.
Who was that one, the piece 72?
Shoot, he is. Kidding? Half those people you play,
Oh, I don't, it doesn't matter.
playing with today up there in Baltimore.
They broke. Ball hit on a high ball drinker.
You know, that's one of the problems today. There is too damn many bats.
Yes.
The problem is way back yonder, we used wagon tongues and mattock handles.
They didn't have that many passes. Just walk up and grab one.
That's true.
Which one of these bats is heavier, Will?
You ready, Taco?
One.
Ball down. Hit that line drive. That's an easy out. Pentacorn. Hit that line drive. Hey.
Too far under it?
Tell ya.
What?
No, we don't want to go to the table. We're honest
What they
Americans.
take.
We don't want to
Oh, they agents don't take anything on the table from the general managers. Huh?
See, now if you go to Vegas, okay, you could have gone to Vegas 2 years ago and win $50,000, and you go right to the cage and they give you the money.
Right.
All right? I went up there 2 weeks ago. I got hot on a blackjack table. I had 16,000 in chips.
Yeah.
Guy wanted my social security number. You know what I told him?
Yeah.
Fine.
Huh?
What?
I'll give it to you next Thursday. Meet me here. Give me my money now.
We have a vast reservoir of
Ready?
ability that
Yeah.
we have never tapped.
We're ready.
We give it to him right now.
Did you get it?
You bet. I mean, when I lose over there, I send him a check.
Right.
They don't ask for my social security
Of
number.
course not.
They got all the angles. All the angles they got.
What was the gist of that story?
Listen, everybody is your friend. You call your wife today?
You called her yesterday? Yeah. You sent her flowers?
Mike, you have a tendency sometimes, as you start to swing, you straighten up too soon. And that's why you hit the top of the ball that time. Because when you straighten up, now the bat's going to hump over the top of the ball. As you swing, it's going to have the yips. So try and keep this top part of the body over the top of the ball until you see it lean or till you hear the noise of the bat making contact. Okay? That's better, but exaggerate a little bit. It's just a split second. Good.
When you grip it, are you gripping it with a tight grip?
Bottom hand's tighter. Top hand should be much tighter at point of contact. You're throwing a big end first, right? Could be a reason. See, you see, Banks was up there. He used to have his fingers moving all the time. Just to keep that top hand a little bit relaxed, and then at point of contact, that's when you throw that big end. It's like hammer to nail. Now, you don't grip that hammer real tight, do you? Here's that hammer, boom, boom, boom. The same thing in hitting with your top hand. It's like hitting a nail into a piece of wood. Off the ball, you hit a little weak grounder or miss it. That's it.
So when you pop it up, though, you just basically swing it up. You're pulling up anyway.
Lifting the ball, yeah. We're trying to get avoid lifting unless you're a big, strong guy. You're a big, strong guy, but maybe you might not have a home run power, you know. So you have to be on top of the ball and get it moving. Get it moving.
yesterday you said you want to lean over the ball. I mean, are you saying literally lean over the plate?
On top of the ball. You want to be on top of the ball. You don't want to be up here.
Okay.
Be on top of the ball. Now, if the pitch is inside, naturally you won't lean over as much. You'll just be barely over and into the ball like that. Pitch is away, then you're over a little bit more to get it. That's all reacting to a pitch. You don't have time to think about that. It's a reaction.
So your stance at the plate, are you erect or are you going to lean over a little bit?
I recommend leaning over.
Okay.
Not a lot, but
just a little bit.
Everybody's different. See, he wasn't leaning much. He had it cracked here. Had his knees cracked. He had it cracked right there. Some other guys would be here. Andy Pafko, we talked about last night. He was like that. He was like he was sitting down in a chair.
Go around. I wasn't going around at all. I was holding up the other day. I started letting it go. It's the only way I can get around.
Well, you're making good contact with. That's a good swing.
Good over here. Good, huh?
We're ready.
Can you visualize yourself?
We have brought these guys so much along.
That's
You're
right.
gonna see
Hitting
such
home runs.
Yeah, but you were out here last
Just
night.
hitting the
No,
ball.
just
All day fielding. You guys,
Young kids, which the other group made a good point, said, you know, a lot of times we're involved in coaching, and you guys probably are as well, coaching some of the youth groups and whatnot. It's what can we give a young player basics so that he doesn't have 20 things to remember, but maybe 4 or 5 things to remember, and that's all as far as outfield play goes. One is, I would suggest to your players, they've got to learn to catch the ball above their head, okay? A lot of the young kids catch the ball down below. The ball will come in and it'll hit off the heel for many of the players because it's not natural with your wrist. Once you get down below your eye level, it's not natural to keep your glove this way. It's natural to start to let it drop. You get a lot of balls dropped that way. But if he keeps his arm up, he's going to catch more than he's going to miss, hopefully, okay? All right, that's very important. The other thing is, and not, a lot of guys don't do it out of, it makes them labor a little bit. They got to put the glove over to your throwing side. I'm a right-handed thrower. If I catch the ball off to my right side, I'm going to be that much quicker to my release point. Because it makes sense. If I catch a ball here and I have to reach in, pull back, and get my arm cranked up and ready to release, it's going to take more time than if I catch here with my momentum going forward and I get to my release point and I'm allowed to now throw the ball that much quicker. Okay, so that's another important point, that they're going to catch the ball off their throwing side, okay, the throwing arm side. So there's 2 things to look for, all right? A couple other things that are very, very important. Make sure, as an outfielder, the young guys learn to have momentum going into catching a ball. The worst thing in the world, as you guys have seen, is catching a ball flat-footed and now trying to get your momentum going forward to get something on your throws. Allow your body to help you. And the way you do that is to step into the ball. You see it a lot of times on TV. An outfielder will time a catch so that he's moving into it. Why? Because it gives him the most momentum he can get, which allows the ball to carry that much more. Make sure you're on top of the ball when you throw. If you see young players as they're growing up learning to throw the ball a la shot putting, okay, they're going to have a hard time because their accuracy is going to be off. Like throwing that dart. If you do it from here sideways, you're never going to hit the target. But if you do it from on top, you've got a better chance. Get on top of the ball when they extend. When you see Sports Illustrated or a picture in the LA Times of a thrower, a pitcher, somebody throwing a ball, and he happens to be extended, look to see where his hand is, the position of his fingers. It will be on top of the ball. If it's not, there's a good chance there's a potential for a throwing error. Because if I'm on top of the ball, once I turn, what happens? I'm now on top of the ball again at my release, which allows me my best accuracy. Okay, so that's really, really crucial. What happens? You're here. You as a player can't throw the ball from here. How can you go from here to there to throw? Think about your release from up here and run it backwards. Where are your hands? Where are my fingers? They're right in this on top. What kind of throw can I possibly make from off to the side? Okay, I can't do it. And how can I accomplish that from back at my start? I've got to be in this position when I get my extension. Okay? And I think of it as pick it off the table. If you have a young player having a problem, tell him pick the ball off the table. And he thinks of doing this, and now he turns to throw. I actually have a drill where a guy strides out and he starts out extended and he throws and he bends his front knee. And you'd be amazed how a kid can get a natural throwing action just by doing that, warming up.
Oh yeah? Is that what's doing it? If you get jammed with that, boy, that will stay. I tell you what you do, if you can, today use an aluminum gun.
I was using that.
Were you?
Yeah.
I hate to tell anybody to use
Yeah,
aluminum gun.
I did it.
I was
I
using
worked
that
for
all
this
morning.
company for about 15 years. They will use it, but if you get jammed with it, you back in here and you get the thing knocked up.
Yeah.
I got it too.
Yeah.
Boy.
Get it out.
They told me to stand without moving my feet.
Stand without moving.
Swing
your
without
feet.
striding.
Swing without striding.
What's that supposed to do?
Well, I was moving my feet, I guess,
That was
back.
that last swing.
That was that last
Got you on the
swing.
last swing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was a
One swing too
Wilhelm
many.
knuckleball.
Yeah, you hit it and you fell down.
And I fell down.
Looks like you get jammed more doing that than you would if you had a little, I don't mean overstride, but if you just, if you got to start something.
But you were stepping back, I think.
I was stepping
I think you were
back,
stepping
so
back
they
with
were
his
trying
back
to
foot.
correct me from stepping back.
All right, let's make some good throws.
See right here. Get your ass there. Get your ass there. Let's go.
Come on, Juan.
You gotta be moving. You have your feet moving so you're ready. Go get that ball. That's it. See there? All right, get back to second base. Come to second base.
Second base.
Good.
See how he's throwing the ball. Give him a good grip on the ball, man. Take a look at how he's throwing. Ah, Jimmy. Good throw. Good throw. First base. Shortstop. What? Come on, try one more. Stop. Okay.
Get in. Get in.
One more. Right. One more.
Get in. Get in. That's it. If you get your feet next to
Got it. All right. One more. No. You got it. Beautiful.
corner.
Yeah, I got it, but you never know. I've been third, short, second, center, right, left, and it
Hey, this
keeps
is
one.
the last session before lunch, so we'll take it kind of slow and maybe get out a little early, let you hit the soup line 5 or 10 minutes early. We're going to talk about a rundown play. It's a play that almost taken for granted that anytime you get a guy in a rundown, you're going to get him out. But if you watched the World Series this past year, they botched up a couple rundown situations, and the guy got back to the base and kept the inning going. And if it's something that's not executed properly, you can fail on it, and it can just prolong the inning. Just a couple points we want to bring out. The way we're going to set this drill up, we're going to have a pitcher on the mound, a first baseman, and an infielder. We're going to have a man running. We want the pitcher to pick the man off first, and then I want the first baseman to get him running towards second, and then he's going to give it up to the second baseman. We're going to make the tag. Now you want to try to make as few throws as possible, and one preferably. If you can just make one throw and get the tag out, that's what we want. Usually you try to run a guy back to the base from which he came from, but in this instance, you can't do it because he started at first, and the first baseman has the ball, and you want to get him running. It'd be silly to unload it to second because then the guy would just run back to first. On a junior, it's not going to hit him. Junior's going to see it. Now, if I'm on this side, Junior has to move over. Since I'm a right-handed thrower, it's better if I'm over here. Okay, so I'm throwing it right to Junior's glove. Okay.
As a runner, do I want to try and position myself like Reggie does?
Well, you can. As a runner, it's just not too many runners unless you got real quickness and can stop on a dime and get out of rundown. And, you know, they do different things, but just running and bobbing and weaving, you just probably get yourself hurt. Now, I want to keep the ball up as I'm running, and I don't want to do this to Junior. I don't want to keep giving him a bunch of pump fakes because he won't know when the ball's coming. When Junior wants the ball, feels like that he's moving a little forward, he's going to say now. Now! And then I'm going to throw it to Junior, and he's going to run the tag. Okay? So it's the object of the first baseman to get him running as move closer. To get him running as fast as he can, and when Junior says the magic word, now, you got it. Okay?
Hey guys, zip up.
I'm high.
They're high. What are we going to do? How many of these do you want to You might want to pull that I signed 50 of these for someone, and I put them together a little bit too soon, and got them smudged. How are you?
Go get him this morning? This afternoon?
When you start them?
Now, yesterday you told me I had a good swing.
I lie a lot.
It made me feel really good.
You do have a good
For my
swing.
friends back in Washington.
You do have a good swing. You know, the thing about my swing was that I stood a little bit too close to the ball after I swung at it. 1,200 and some times. And for those of you that don't know anything about baseball, it means I struck out 1,200 and some times.
2.5 years.
Okay. 2.5 years of my career I struck out.
Well, you're still standing after 3 days of this camp and the participation in baseball. It's a rewarding experience, but what I'd like to know is why you, Mr. Cameraman, feel this compulsive need to constantly interview us without our clothes on in the locker room.
I must.
I understand male bonding and all, but you just fool around with that camera in this locker room too many times. And you're going to create the wrong impression for people wanting to watch a wholesome family video.
Yeah, but I get away with a lot when I have this around.
Well, it's true. There are people that just feel a compulsive need to pose for the camera, and I don't like those kind of people. I want to say this, but as Duke Snider once said, "What am I doing here?"
How you feeling?
I feel great this morning. I really do. My impression of this place, I don't think there's anything like it. I was somewhat upset when I found out that I was coming here, but once I got here, it was worth every penny. I guarantee it was worth it.
How you doing at the bat?
Well, I'm 2 for 6. That comes out to about a .333 average. 2 runs batted in. I guess so-so.
Yeah, it's above average.
Oh yes, oh yes. I didn't expect to be that good though.
You're having a hell of a time.
Oh yes, it's great. It's really great. I think my defense is a little better than my offense though.
Defense is the name of the game around here. If you got that, you can win.
I'll agree. I think defense wins games.
I'm having the time of my life. I am living out something that I've always wanted to do, and that is wear Dodger blue.
Oh, yeah.
And
You
I
look
couldn't-
good in it.
Well, thank you. Our team has been doing pretty fair so far. We're 0-2, but we are improving every day. And we're hoping to get on out there and get a big win today.
Are you guys on the brink?
But I'll tell you, we've had some guys go down with some minor injuries, but we're holding together.
Oh, you're on Vero Beach, huh?
Huh?
You're on
No,
Vero
we're in
Beach?
San Antone.
Oh, hey, I'm shooting you guys today.
All right. You shot us the first game.
Yeah.
The first 5 innings, we loved watching it because we were way ahead.
Yeah.
After that, our whole team just kind of got up and left. We didn't want to see the outcome.
Went in the toilet, didn't it?
It went in the toilet.
Veteran, what do you think of this group that's here this time?
I think they're a pretty good bunch of seasoned ball players, and we're having a terrific time out here. I did notice that one of the teams was having a little problem keeping enough men on the field.
Yeah.
I think they have a few broken hands and a wounded leg, but looks like everybody's having a good time.
Next time they'll train harder.
They'll start a little earlier next year.
That's what they said last year.
But, we're all having a good time here. Once again, my wife let me down here on her birthday, anniversary, and Valentine's Day all in the same week, so I'm going to have to take real good care of her when I get back home. Hire something extra special. I'm having a good time.
This is my second trip down here. There's 2 things you learn. You learn where the tape is, where the limit is. You get yourself fixed instead of having the trainers do it for you.
You spend some time in a training room?
Oh yeah.
I haven't been in there yet.
It's I think those guys do a super job getting you all patched up and keep you going. Last year, when I came down, I wasn't prepared. I had stiff muscles, so I worked out for this year. And this year, I'm getting different muscles that hurt. So now I don't know what to do.
You have to find out which ones you're going to use and exercise those.
I got to take a checklist of which ones hurt this time and go back and compare them.
Yeah.
Well, we always say hi, Mom.
You always what?
Say hi, Mom.
Oh.
Well, what do you think so far?
Well, I think I'm having a wonderful time. And I think the Dodge organization puts itself out like no other organization I've ever seen to make sure every camper has a good time, to make sure everybody's healthy. I've never seen such service like this.
You like it?
I do, very much. Quite impressive.
Well, you get what you pay for, right?
I guess so, and we paid quite a bit.
Yeah, what if you came down here and were disappointed? Then it really hurt.
That's true, or a broken ankle.
Yeah, or a broken ankle. That's a shame.
Yeah.
I hope he comes back, though.
Well, I don't know. He's going into surgery this afternoon.
Well, they'll probably let him out after maybe a day. He can still get back for the awards and stuff on Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
Hopefully, anyway. Ready?
No, we're not.
We're not ready yet. I got my pants on.
That's all right. I got it high. I just got your
it
heads.
high enough?
Yeah. Heads and shirts is all I got.
Well, here I am standing next to my idol over here.
Where?
Where? No, this is Lou Brock here.
We know that.
When my son sees this on the screen, he's going to say, Dad, you really know Lou Brock? And I'm going to say, yeah, look, Block and Brock right next to each other over here. I'm going to say that I even got Lou's jockstrap yesterday by mistake.
God.
right in behind him for a possible play. All right, here we go. Right there, just hit him. Okay? And let him know what to do. If you don't say anything, he's going to let that ball go. Fellas, if you don't hear anything, let the ball go. All right? Here we go. Left, yeah. Let him know. Good. All right, that's it. If you want him to cut it now, let's say cut. Okay? Cut or relay. What's the difference? Relay means cut it, get it here. Cut means just cut, turn around and watch what's going on. Okay, now, center field, shortstop's cut off man. Third baseman's got the bag. Second baseman's there. You're checking the runner.
Another question.
Yeah.
Doesn't relay mean you let the ball go through the cutoff?
No, that's what we're saying. Let it go. Let it go. Relay means you have to have two different communications. Let it go means let it go. Relay means catch it and relay it to me.
So in other words, a cut.
Cut means there's no play. Just cut it. And
Third base, shortstop, or second base.
yeah,
Or
or
take
just
it.
cut, hold. Cut, hold, look. Catch the ball, look around.
But on
there's
the
nothing.
relay, it would either go from the second, short, and third to either the pitcher
next man.
or the
Right.
catcher.
It's to the next base, to the base where the play is.
So relay 3.
No, just relay it because you're lined up with where the ball's going to go. Let's say the shortstop's there, and the ball's supposed to go to third base, but we've got to play here. He should say cut 2. Cut 2. That means cut, throw the ball to second base. We don't have a play at third, cut 2. Okay? If he says relay, he knows I want him to relay the ball right to me there. Okay? If that guy's already at third base and the runner's going to second, he says cut 2 or cut 3, however we've got that play. Okay? All right, here we go. Shortstop's your cutoff man. Second baseman's on the bag. Relay. Good, relay. All right, relay means we got a play there. Good, all right, here we go. That's the way, fellas. Nice and easy now. Nice and easy.
Right, hold it. Cut.
Okay, cut means just cut it. Find out what's going on. All right, right field. Here we go. Now this one, shortstop is still a cutoff man. Shortstop's still a cutoff man. Second, because the second baseman's got to be at the bag. All right. Now shortstops in a game, the further that ball is, the more you've got to go out. You might have to go all the way into the baseline. Okay. You might have to come way out. Let's say you might have to come way out here. I'd rather have you do that and have the second baseman there. Generally, the shortstop's got a little better arm too than the second baseman, so you want him to relay the ball. Here we go.
Right. Hold it. Cut.
Okay, try to let them know a little sooner now. We're on a short field.
Right.
You'll have a lot more time to do this communication in a game because it's a lot bigger distance. But let them know early on these calls. Okay, here we go.
Right. Hold it. Relay.
Okay, there it is. Perfect. Nice going. All right. There are two possibilities here. If you've got a runner at second, you might have a play at the plate or you might not. You might have a play if that guy goes to second. We school our runners. If they see a throw going home and it's high, go to second base. Okay, so this is a very important cutoff.
Runner on second, don't you say?
Yeah, there's a runner on second base. Now, the only time the third baseman's going to cut a ball or be in a relay, the runner at second, is the ball hit directly to the left fielder or to the line. Okay? Any other time, any ball hit to that left fielder's left, all the way around the outfield, the first baseman now is the cutoff man. It's a home plate. Okay, anytime the ball's hit directly at the left fielder or toward the line with the runner at second base, the third baseman's going to be the cutoff man. The reason for that,
The third baseman is the cutoff man.
you can't get over there. You can't go all the way to that side. So the third baseman's the cutoff man. But anytime that ball is hit to the left of the left fielder all the way around, you're the cutoff man because now you can get in position here. Okay?
How about if there's a man,
We're just working with a runner at second now. Just a runner at
You're
second.
talking
okay?
about in a situation where the runner is on second base.
Right.
And so the assumption is that we got to protect home plate on this.
Right.
And in those situations where the ball is to the right of the left fielder,
Well, yeah, as you're looking at him.
as I'm looking at him going, in other words, left center
Yep.
to center.
Right. You're the cutoff man.
Where do we
Just start at the. Okay, let's say this is not the further you're going to have to go out. If it's a short ball, you stay right at the pitcher's mouth, and the catcher's going to line you up.
Okay, now what's the pitcher doing?
The pitcher's going behind home plate to back up. Yeah, this is a good point. Pitchers, we haven't talked. Whoever's the pitcher, anytime if there's a runner at first, you're going to go where the throw's going to be by second base. So the pitcher's here. We had our runner with a single to left field. He throws the ball. He just gets in, backs up second base. Anytime there's a play at third base, the pitcher's got to get behind third base to the boundary. Anytime there's a throw to home plate, the pitcher's got to get behind home plate.
Stealing principles and the V. Did we talk about the V?
Yes.
Okay, we bypassed that. We talked about the lead. All right, so today, let's go down to second base. I didn't see your team play yesterday, but I saw a couple of teams, including my own. Most of the problems were around second base and base runners. So since that's where the problem area is, let's go down and talk about it.
This way.
Thanks.
Base. If you took a survey and looked around you, here's what you see. There will be 9 other players on this field, all wearing a different uniform, and none of those players are out there for your best interest. And that's what the situation you find yourself in. And the only safe place in the middle of that field with these 9 guys happen to be right here. And we sort of stick close to this because it is safe for us. Therefore, when we get off this base, there's a short second baseman there, the shortstop behind me, and my manager said, "Kaline, listen to my voice." And you go, "Holy shit."
Thanks,
I
Lou.
gotta wa-
Thanks, Lou.
I take it back.
That
You gotta
segment
go.
of the video, Brock, okay?
Just
Take
walk
two.
out.
Just $50.
Right.
Take two. Take two. Start again with the base in the middle of the field.
What do you say to yourself? My God, how am I going to listen, concentrate on this? I got to watch this second baseman. There's a shortstop dancing around behind me, and I'm like this. I saw this yesterday. I saw guys like this messing up like this. It had to be nerve-wracking to be on second base. You would rather have been on first base or rather been on third base. But here, no, where are you? You're at second base. And you can't stand on this base. Remember we talked about yesterday, self-conscious. This conference said we can't stand on this base. Nobody else stands, so why should we? But now you get about here. They say, "Get off the base, come this way." And you go, "Oh boy, you can say that because you're over there." But anyway, how can I be safe on this base and still get the best jump possible to score a run? That is the quest. That is the ultimate quest. Skill. Mike, I think you're this tall.
Lay down.
Right. Make a line. Draw a line. And straddle this line. And I guarantee you, shortstop, run from this position over to the bag and hey, I got you. And you like this and he's there. Second baseman's doing all that yelling. He's run over there. 2 of them there. They can't do a darn thing. Because now you're keying off this pitcher. The only man in the world that can make you move off this line is the pitcher. Once he plays, you care because you're only 2 steps away. I just heard you 2 steps back. If you start this way, if I start this way, what happens to you when the pitcher
Yeah, okay, that's the reason, because they're saying that your run now is important.
So that you can get off the corner of the bag and get home sooner?
Yeah, that you do not go into that bench around at third base. That's what they really are protecting. And it's starting from there. It can happen. It's not taught a lot. You don't see this in Major League Baseball. Very rarely do you see it. And that is where you're standing out here. You can't use the base runner. I'm the shortstop. If I walk up and say, hey, you're going to move at this point. But because he has his line there, he looks at me and now I think I'm crazy. But if he didn't have that line there, he would have reacted. You don't really care. You don't care. Further help you out in the base on the second base. I would recommend the first base coach standing this way looking at you. His head represents the base. Right arm represents right fist represents the second baseman. Left of the shortstop. But never looking at the shortstop. The shortstop goes back to his position, you go like this. That means that now you're at liberty to do whatever you want to do. No, you went this way. Yeah, my head is the base there. And I'm standing here. Now here comes the second baseman. All right. So, and if he's a battler, you got the base hit, he's now fighting for it. And all of a sudden you get to the base and before, I got to get out and get my lead. Now I think I really got to lead. I look down. Where am I going to go? Pre-game practice, you walk up and put a little mark like this. The infielders, ground crew, all of them cannot erase that. Even in this concept, I was asked to work with the Minnesota Twins in '85. They had a difficult time scoring runs in close ball games, whereby late innings, the game is tied. Runner is scoring. And the shortstop or second base will always come up behind their runner and go, hey! And that runner would turn and the pitcher to throw the ball. Base hit. So he's going back to the base, they can't score. It just took 2 hits to score a run. And they win. So they ask, what do you do? If you don't want your runner going back, you want him to go this way on every pitch, then I suggest we come out, take your quality length, take a step, and draw a line. Because you came all the way to here to tell us to draw a goddamn line on the ground? Yes, I did. And they drew the line. Nobody's going back this. But that's the effect of it. So sometimes the small things are the thing that really makes a break in for the ball game. It's not the big plays. There's a few big plays that happen inside of 27 outs.
You want me closer, in other words?
No. Because everybody in this camp can't whirl and throw the ball. I want you here.
Okay. I'm ready.
Now, what I want you to do is to go back towards the base, and I don't expect you to hit the base. I want you to go back that direction without looking. Now, if I were to say back, and you're still looking at the pitcher, back. Okay, let's see what happens. Although you didn't go back viciously, you did not have an idea where the base was. Damn good idea where it is. Now it says, back. But that's the feel you want. And then you can do this in your room, you can do this.
What happens when you're 6 feet back, as you suggest, and you got to get back to back? What's the move look like?
Remember the shortstop, you just pushing him further back. He likes to see daylight. Give me daylight between the run and the base. Okay, you walk out to the shortstop. Then pitches to the first side. You got a shortstop like this. So how you doing? You guys go. And he's like, you talking to it. But yeah, I recommend you don't do it, but you can do it. You can physically walk up to the guy, stand in front of him like this. You can't walk there. Both are going to start at the same time. Now, as the pitcher comes to his strike, you can walk up.
Okay. That's the starting point. she'll come up to this angle, it looks like you're getting further off the plate. She actually does. And then he whirls and throw, and you get back with ease, and you go, oh boy, there's something wrong with that calculation. And you go back there, turn the guy, look at you. On the stretch, you stand up next to the shortstop. Hi, guys. That kind of concept. Not necessarily, but that's the effect of it. You look around, you find out what the shortstop is. Line drivers get the average say most of the time they're down in there. But it's not necessarily to be a quick break. Second base, you already know what it's about.
Let me ask you a question. They always say that stealing third base is easier than stealing second. Now you're taking the same lead here that you were saying on first base yesterday. Now, what makes stealing that then simpler? I mean,
nobody's
it's a
holding
shorter
you on
throw.
Yeah, but you got a bigger lead. Right. Nobody's holding you on base.
Well, I thought you were still going that same body length when you said, you know, you're getting here just like that one you have off over there.
I'm talking base running.
And now?
I'm talking base running. If I was talking base stealing, if I was base stealing the same concept, I would be up to here. My lead is here. Why is it there? Man, I'm safe right here. I'm the gambler. I'm the base stealer. If I can't get another step and a half off of that line, then I shouldn't even try it.
How much intimidation can you use to be a base stealer?
There are different ways to do it. From your stance, number one, you can pivot. The key is, in all of them, we're going to get our shoulders squared up to the pitcher. I'm going to square up to him so that the head of my bat will be out, okay? My stance will allow me to do it, but with some of you, you may feel more comfortable doing it another way. And by that I mean, because if you're the pitcher and I square around like this, is my bat covering the outside of the plate? No, it's not, okay? Some hitters, because of their stance, I used to be able to do it. I cover the plate now, but if I find a player who's here and can't cover the plate, I have to make an adjustment with him. And that adjustment comes in the stance. Now you start talking about moving that back foot up, farther to allow this shoulder to get farther out and cover the plate. Okay, that's one. So you decide what you want to do. Square around, pivot, but in all cases your shoulders square up to the pitcher. Okay? Now, the position of your hands on the bat. This hand, those fingers got to be loose. I can't wrap. It's got to be loose. All I do is I bend all my fingers and I lay the bat in there, around the label area, wherever you're comfortable. The higher up you go, the more deadened the ball will become when you hit it. Okay? The farther down you are, the more chance you're going to punch the ball and it's going to have some juice on it when it leaves. So as you start to feel comfortable bunting, the higher up you can get, great. That's just a matter of personal preference, okay? But around the label area is where you need to be comfortable. Okay? Bottom hand in just a relaxed position. You can slide it up if you'd like. That's up to you as well. It's control. You control the bat right here. This is where it is, and this hand guides it. Now, as a left-handed hitter, my left arm is extended. Many of the guys who've done it already this morning, their left arm, as a left-handed hitter, is back, and they're butting everything down, and they're popping everything up. It goes down on the plate or it goes up. And that's strictly because the head of the bat, they don't allow the head of the bat to get on top of the ball. Towards first, it's got a better chance of staying fair than if I do it way back here, because now I'm dealing with the line, okay? So the position of the bat is ahead of the plate. I always have an angle to the bat. I don't come in here because there's my tendency to do this. Now I pop balls up all the time. The position of my bat, angle, is always up. The top half. That makes me know subconsciously that I'm on the top of the ball. I'm on the top of the ball. And always at the top of the strike zone. Makes sense. So if it's above the bat as it's coming in, I just pull back. Okay? The runner at first, bunt the ball to the first baseman. And the runner is first only. Why? Because he has to hold that runner. The third baseman's crowding you. With runners at first and second, you bunt the ball here. You bunt it there because the third baseman has to hold. And your first baseman is crowded. So those are just some of the keys, but the biggest thing I've already seen this morning is this right here. Guys are in tight in this arm, or for a right-handed hitter, this arm, they seem to be extending it. And this is the arm that's got to relax, and that's the arm that's got to extend. Right-handed hitter, it's your right arm.
got it! I 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 got it! Yeah, I know. I saw that one.
That's good. That's good. Once. Twice. 3 times. Right. But don't throw the ball. Just make believe you're doing it.
The whole thing?
Okay, do that one more time.
Okay.
And at the end, really hold it.
It's the 9th inning. Bases are loaded. You gotta get this guy out. Good team behind you.
Before you do that part, wait till the camera comes up and point it like that. No jumping. No jumping around. Okay, ready? Try that again. The whole sequence, right? Yep, the whole thing. Okay. No grinning. It's serious. K-line's up here. The base is loaded. Ready? Here we go. He's out there trying to throw it straight. Okay. One more one.